Now we're going to get to the best part, the tips for the transition. Rosemary is an author, a spiritual teacher, and a coach. And her own path to healing was found through the Enneagram, which she now teaches to help others build self-awareness and emotional wellness. Her story is at the root of and the foundation for the work she does today. Women like Rosemary are role models for the rest of us when it comes to learning to thrive. Rosemary, you've opened our eyes and our hearts to a subject that few talk about, mental illness. And this is truly a story of your survival and you giving back. Bless you. Now let's get to the best part.
Okay.
Rosemary, please share with us what you learned from this amazing journey. You've given us a couple of tips already. What else have you learned?
Well, I learned that the inner world, the inner life, the doing your inner work, whatever that means to you, whether it's meditation or it's yoga or it's therapy, talk therapy, or it's my gosh, there's 1,000 of them today, right? EFT, emotional freedom technique, or tapping, or I could name a million things. Whatever you do to get yourself into a place of center where you are enough, where you are safe, where you are like in the, like if you know, for those of you who are spiritual, you'll get this. And if you're not spiritual, just, you know, try to wrap your brain around, you know, it from a human perspective. I have this picture of God's hand, you know, and a little sort of person curled up in that big hand of God. And where we are safe to thrive. We are safe to be who we are, who we came here to be. And not all of us get nourished and nurtured the way some other people might. But again, it doesn't do you any good to compare. It just does good to acknowledge that and say, so then how can I take myself from where my parents brought me to and fly? And that's the question. So, and then the answer will come to you if you truly, truly are patient and you co-create. You take these baby steps and you do them. Some of the baby steps I took were trusting myself when I was raised in one faith and fell in love with a gentleman from another faith and said, oh, well, we're going to work this out. And we talked things through and we found we could find much common ground in a Judeo-Christian, Christian sort of marriage and interfaith marriage. And then trusting myself with my faith along the way when I had some spiritual experiences that somebody else might have said, okay, that's a little woo-woo for me. And then I said to myself, well, guess what? I don't really need anybody's vote that the Blessed Mother came to me in a dream. I know she came to me in a dream. And it doesn't matter what the dream would be for someone else, whatever it is, if you were raised in an Islamic tradition or a Jewish tradition or a Christian tradition or no tradition at all, you have your own higher self speaking to you all the time. We all do. And it's about how open we are to it. So some of the things I did and I encourage other people to do is work at your own intuitive capacities. Now, being a mother kind of, breaks that wide open for many of us, and so that's really good training that you don't even have to pay for, which is great. But except to pay to have that baby, whatever that costs, which is not cheap these days. But so each time, I opened myself up deeply with my intuitive capacity when I had a baby. Taking your dreams. I went to the Jung Institute in Chicago and took classes because I think there's much that we can learn from our own dreams about ourselves. I wrote down and recorded my dreams. You know, sometimes they wake you up and you have anxiety, but you sit at the top of the stairs or wherever your spot is, and you write it out, you know, so you don't wake up the partner if you have a partner. I did that. My husband and I, when we first got married, I wanted a strong faith, to bring children up. And we agreed on what we were going to do. But we were at a discovery weekend, which is like a marriage encounter for engaged couples. And I looked at him and I said, oh, would you like to be the prayer or greeters or a prayer couple? Or would you like to do any of this? And he was like, I want to do it all. So and I just was so happy because, you know, we had different faiths, and I thought, oh my gosh, this will be so important for us. And for 25 years, we were facilitators for the engaged about the deeper parts of marriage. Like, we aren't experts, but here's what we'll share, you know, and we got so much back. So those are some of the things. And then, of course, my own non-crisis therapy, when I just wanted to go in and touch base on how difficult it was to, you know, have a 2-year-old or a teenager, you know, and keeping on opening those doors that I call the Alice in Wonderland doors, where you are continuing to do that work. It pays great dividends in every area of your life, as a partner, as a sister, as a friend.
Rosemary, I love all of the things that you just shared. There are so many of them. But most importantly, it's to reach out for the kind of help that you need, and that it is an individual choice for everyone. And there are so many options out there. You and I are both one of those options, but there are so many others. And it's not, each one is not right for each one of us, right? And we just need to explore, be open. And I think that is probably the thread that ran through all of your tips, is just to be open to the possibilities. So you were open even to the marriage encounter type work, and it helped you and your husband in your own marriage. I just love that you share that and that you do that. So, Rosemary, I know that there are going to be lots of people out there watching who are going to want to know more about you and maybe connect with you. So would you just share with us the best way they can connect? And we'll share it at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, great. Sure. I wanted to say, when I wrote about that story, the very first time I got published was I was doing work with the Enneagram, you know, teaching it, studying it, having private coaching sessions. And then I got this opportunity to be in a book called No Mistakes, How You Can Change Adversity into Abundance, with Hierophant Publishing. So I wrote a piece called The Call, and it was 7 pages in more detail about what I described in this interview. And then I haven't really talked about it too much, to be honest. People really focus more on the work. I've gotten published in several compilation books. Then it took me a while to gain my confidence, because there's lots of PhDs in this field. But I thought, you know what? You know, maybe there are bigger brainiacs out there than me, but I am really emotionally intelligent. I have good emotional awareness, and I have something to offer, and somebody's going to see from my point of view something that they didn't see from those PhDs. And furthermore, maybe I can take some of the psychobabble out of it and just get into that very grounded wellness, like they call the points of integration and disintegration within the Enneagram, for example. And I like to just call that a wellness map, because it shows us what we feel like when we're well and when we're in the absence of ease.
I know people are going to want to hear more about that. So tell them how. How do we get in touch with you?
You can go to Spirit Driven Living, which is my website, Spirit, the word driven, the word living, all together.com. And then also I'm on Amazon, and the book, can I show the book?
Sure.
This is the book, Who You Are Meant to Be, The Enneagram Effect. And it's all about personality to higher consciousness. It's about healing the wounds. Everybody's got wounds. Everybody's in process, and everyone has wounds to heal. And it's about how to connect to that essence that you will awaken to when you do your own Enneagram, or you have a guide I think having a guide in this sacred work is very helpful. You can do it alone. But anyway, it's on Amazon right now. It's 4 months old, and it's a bestseller, and it's doing very well. So thank you for letting me share that.
That's perfect. Congratulations on that. I love people who have written books and have taken them to bestseller status. I've done one of my own, and it's so rewarding. So thank you for sharing that.
What's the name of yours?
From Upside Down to Right Side Up.
I love that. I love that, the name of this. And I want to thank you for being so warm and welcoming to me and making me feel so comfortable to share from such a vulnerable place.
You're so welcome. I want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone for watching and for being part of our community. This series of conversations with women is inspired by my latest book, Upside Down to Right Side Up, Turning Transition into Triumph. The book that I've written, the articles I write, and these conversations are intended to share stories from the heart and life strategies that help others. I invite you to share them with the women in your life so none of us will ever feel like we are alone. Many of us have gone through similar experiences, and we're here to support you. I believe it's our time to thrive. Will you join me on that journey? I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan. Till next time.